My brothers and sisters, what is going on? Steel Sermon in the house. Sunday afternoon with another video, and coming on here for giving my recap for the Patriots and the Steelers, as I just got off of Steel Twins' stream. Had a lot of fun on there with the bonus coverage with the Dolphins and the Jets, with ferocious comebacks from either team. So this actually makes me feel a little bit better, but, still just a tough one to swallow. And as always, newer subscribers, thank you all for tuning in, and thank you for subbing up. Hit the like and hit the subscribe. Links are posted to my IG and my Twitter down in the description box below. So yeah, we drop now our fourth home opener in the last 5 seasons, as we drop it 17-14 today to the New England Patriots. We've now lost 2 in a row to these guys, and it looks like their ownage of us just continues, as different quarterbacks, same result. As this was the first matchup since 1998 between these two franchises where the quarterbacks did not feature Big Ben or Brady, and that was a game that New England won as well. So first of all, want to give a shout out to the Patriots. They played a good game, did what they needed to do, limited as much mistakes as they could. And Mac Jones, he played out of his mind. I think he played very efficiently. Wide receivers did what they needed to do, and I will eat some crow with Bill Belichick. He made some adjustments. He always gets the best of Mike Tomlin, prepped the team up well, and once again, he used his fundamentals to beat us. So, give credit to the Patriots, and I don't know, maybe we'll see him next year depending on how our seasons goes, but we'll just take it from there. But getting on into our team today. I think today you have to put today on Mitch Trubisky. Now, I am not going to murder and haul off on Mitch Trubisky in this post game because it's his first bad game with us, and I have this sort of faint hope that he can learn and build off of this and have a better game. But today, you got to put it on Mitch Trubisky, in my opinion. Because I don't know how you can put it on Mike Tomlin. I thought he prepped up the team pretty well today. I think Tomlin did what he needed to do. He was, prepping up the team. He didn't make a lot of mistakes. He didn't waste his timeouts. He didn't challenge dumb plays. I don't think you can put this one on Tomlin. I don't think you can put it on Matt Canada either, because while the play calling on offense didn't look super improved today, it did look a little bit more improved. I think Najee Harris had a pretty solid game today. He was making the best plays that he possibly could. And getting Jaylen Warren involved as well, I think you just can't blame Matt Canada today. He was being creative. He called some good plays. He used his playbook a little bit more. And really, I think Matt Canada built off of last week. So I don't know how you can put all the blame on Matt Canada. I think he carries some blame for today, but not all of it. Offensive line, you can't put the blame on that either, because they gave Mitch clean pockets today, just like last week. They gave him clean pockets. Mitch did get sacked a couple of times today, but they gave Mitch clean pockets for the most part. Still, the run blocking still needs to improve, but we've seen it when Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren were making plays behind that run blocking. So I don't think you can put the blame on the O-line either. And the defense, once again, you can't put it on the defense. Defense, I think, played well enough to win, because if someone told me that if, we were going to hold New England to 17 points today, I would have loved our chances of winning. Defense played really well today, except for one play by Acrisure Witherspoon, where I am going to criticize him right off the bat. He allowed a touchdown to, I think it was Nelson Agholor, in the second quarter, a little bit before halftime. He puts his arms up like this, like he's focusing more on making a turnover instead of making a play and batting down the ball, when he is all over Nelson Agholor. Witherspoon, you just put your arm up like this and bat the ball down, and it's an incomplete pass. It's a terrible time to allow a touchdown, and a terrible execution on top of that. Bad play by Witherspoon. Okay? He's our top corner, too. He got manhandled all day today. So, Witherspoon, I expect him to learn from today's bad game from him, but he is not the reason that we lost today. Mac Jones targeting the middle of the field all day today is not also the reason that we lost, even though it played a factor, because that goes back to not having TJ Watt. This is a big example of a case where we're going to miss TJ Watt for an extended period of time, all right? Because Mac Jones was targeting middle of the field all afternoon long because TJ Watt wasn't there to provide the pass rush for us. I can't remember a time that we sacked Mac Jones at all today. So, what's that leave? Mitch Trubisky. He is the reason that we lost this game today, in my opinion. You have to put the blame on Mitch Trubisky, okay? And it started early in the first quarter. First read. Never looks at another receiver. Did not look at another receiver for the entire game. He was targeting the first option that he saw all afternoon, and a good example came in the first quarter with this ridiculously crappy interception that he threw, where he was trying to thread the needle, threw the ball across the middle, deflected off a Patriot defender, and eventually fell in the arms of Devin McCourty. It's just he's trying to do too much, trying to make a throw that only a limited amount of quarterbacks in this league are capable of throwing. Mitch is not one of them. That interception right there, and I know, I get the Mitch Trubisky apologists. I get the Mitch Trubisky guys that like to bash him, and give him absolutely no credit for anything. But for the apologists, I'm telling you, that interception by Mitch Trubisky cannot happen. All right? He's a 6-year starter, he's a 6-year player in the league, his 5th year as a starter. He cannot make a throw like that. That has nothing to do with the offensive line, has nothing to do with the talented receivers, has nothing to do with Matt Canada. That is all Mitch. Okay? And he should have thrown another interception I think it was in the second or third quarter. It was one of those two. I know it wasn't in the fourth quarter, but he should have thrown another interception where he undershot George Pickens, and it was barely off the New England defender's hands, and he dropped an easy interception. So really, Mitch should have had 2 picks today. But he had one for sure, and honestly, they both would have been on him. But like I said, first read, all afternoon today, he did pretty much the exact opposite of what I said that he needed to do in my keys to victory for us to win this game, which is limit the mistakes, and ironically, he is the reason that we lost today's game. Okay? And then, of course, the other things, aside from his interceptions and his boneheaded decisions, he is running away from a pass rush. He is constantly running away from linebackers, defensive ends trying to make a sack on him. And instead, he just takes a sack. He doesn't, at least he didn't force the ball, but he's taking sacks when he is close to the sidelines where he could easily have thrown the ball out of bounds to avoid a sack. At that moment, you have to throw the ball out of bounds to avoid a sack. This, like I said, his 6th season in the league, 5th year as a starter, he cost us this game today. He made some really bad throws. He made some really poor choices today. He had that touchdown in the fourth quarter to Freiermuth, which I just don't understand why he wasn't targeting Freiermuth a lot today. Because we've seen it last week in overtime against the Bengals. When he was targeting Freiermuth, we were making plays. And Freiermuth was responsible for his touchdown. These two have developed some good chemistry from one another. I don't know how he just doesn't continue to use Freiermuth as a security blanket. And he wasn't really targeting him today. Except for in that touchdown pass that he had to him. And then the 2-point conversion. And then I know, of course, other stupid plays that we had today or other miscuses that we had today, like in the third quarter. Cam Sutton has an interception thrown right to him. He drops it. I don't know how you don't hang on to that. I don't know how you don't end up with an interception on that, but you have to hang on to that interception. And you'd know what I'm talking about if you've seen it. Mac Jones threw it right to him. Right to him. And he dropped it. It was as if Cam Sutton was the receiver. And then, of course, ensuing that, Gunnar Olszewski badly muffs a punt, okay? Muffs a punt. How are you a punt returner and you can't hang on to a punt? And then New England immediately capitalizes on that. And at that point, I kind of knew the game was over. Too many self-inflicted wounds right there, and Mitch got us into too deep of a hole. Okay, those things, this game should not have come down to those two miscues by us right there, because our quarterback put us into a deficit that we could not climb out of. This is on Mitch Trubisky today. I am putting 75% of this loss today on Mitch Trubisky. He lost us the game. You know, there's an old saying. You can't win the game in the first quarter, but you can lose it in the first quarter. And Mitch Trubisky lost us this game in the first quarter. And he needed to redeem himself later in the game. And that touchdown that he had to Freiermuth looked like he was going to mount a comeback, but it was just too little too late. Mitch lost us the game today. He can't be staring down receivers like that. He can't keep throwing checkdowns. You know, he has to gain some sort of confidence with taking long shots down the field, which is why I hope Matt Canada in the future grows some more common sense and has Mitch, take more deep shots down the field. And we saw him do that towards the end of the second half. So that's why I say you can't really blame Canada for today. This is on Mitch. Okay? Like I said, also the defense, how can you possibly blame the defense? Aside from those two really bad miscues that we had from Cam Sutton and Akala Witherspoon. How can you possibly blame the defense outside of the pass rush? I can forgive us not having a pass rush because our pass rush looks a lot different when TJ Watt's not in the equation. Malik Reed didn't do anything. Alex Highsmith didn't do anything. You can tell how much this pass rush was missing TJ today, man. Okay? You can't put this one on the defense. And something else I should have mentioned, that Minkah Fitzpatrick, another interception for Minkah today. Amazing play. And that was right after Mitch threw his interception. We gave New England the ball. They came right back and they gave it right back to us. But the fact of the matter is, when we got the ball back, we couldn't do anything because our quarterback was just not aggressive enough. And he cost us the game today. Now look, for the fans at Heinz-Field that were chanting, Kenny, Kenny, Kenny. Listen, I was saying this in the Steel Twins' stream, okay? I understand the frustration with Mitch Trubisky. I get it. I'm one of those fans. I'm frustrated with him today. But here's the thing. Whether we like it or not, Mitch is going to be the starter for us this season. You can't throw Kenny Pickett into the fire like this. And this is an example of why. He needs to learn the playbook. He needs to be able to adjust. He needs to be able to come up with Matt Canada needs to come up with game plans for him, and you don't want to rush him. There is no reason to rush a quarterback like that. That's why you bring in Mitch Trubisky to fill in the gap, bridge up, the gap between us having Big Ben retired and starting Kenny Pickett for the long-term future. Okay? So I understand the frustration, but throwing Kenny Pickett into the fire right away is not going to happen, because if we do, it's going to look the same. It's going to look no different than what Mitch was today, in my opinion. That's why you have to let Kenny Pickett learn a little bit. That's why you have to be patient with this, okay? Because we literally had our franchise quarterback of 18 years, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, mind you, okay, who's a first ballot Hall of Famer in my opinion, retire, and now you're in transition of finding another capable starter. And if we're that confident with drafting Kenny Pickett, 20th overall, so that he can be the long-term answer for us eventually, not this year, but eventually, Mitch is your starter for this year, I expect better play from Mitch Trubisky nonetheless. Okay? But lay off of chanting Kenny, Kenny, and just be patient with this. But today is an example of where you can put blame on Mitch Trubisky, because he lost us this game today, plain and simple. I know I'm a heavy critic of Tomlin. I am. But I'm not putting today on Tomlin at all. I think he prepped the team up well enough for us to win. We just didn't execute because our quarterback got us into a deficit and we couldn't recover from it. The miscuses, yes, those were bad, but it shouldn't have come down to that because of Mitch Trubisky. Terrible throws, terrible judgment on passes. He should have had 2 interceptions today. And it's just inexcusable how unprepared that he looked today. He looked like he was playing scared, honestly. Looked like he didn't show a lot of confidence. He didn't show a lot of, confidence in his throws and the long shots down the field. He just looked like, going through the motions, throwing the ball. Let's just, focus on one guy and let's just get the game over with. I expect better from Mitch if that's the case. Plain and simple. So, yeah. We lose 17-14. We honestly should have lost by more because the pass rush on defense hurt a lot today, but we should have lost more than 17-14. That just shows you that the defense is not to blame for today, but we should have lost by more. But we lose because of our quarterback today. Today is a day where you can put blame on Trubisky. And that's really all I got to say for today. I might have more thoughts about the game put in individual videos as the weeks go by, but it's a short week because we got to go to Cleveland and play the Browns Thursday night, which I feel still unconfident about. But after seeing how the Browns blew it to the Jets today, it gives me a little bit more confidence, but not a whole lot. But still, I wouldn't count my blessings and I wouldn't hold my breath on it too much. Just a really bad loss for us today. Really bad job by Mitch Trubisky today. I try to like him. I try to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'll always cheer for him as long as he wears these colors. But I absolutely have no problem coming on here and ripping him a new one when he needs to. And I have no problem coming on here and criticizing him like I am right now and like I did in this video. Like I said, I wasn't going to kill him in this video, but I was criticizing him and I was putting the loss on him today because it is deserved. And that's all I got to say. Rebound, get a better game plan. You got a short week coming up, a 2-hour drive from Pittsburgh to Cleveland coming up. You don't have a whole lot of time to adjust. Get it together, guys. And that'll do it for this video. Again, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and on Twitter. Links are posted down below. Steel Sermon checking on out for the day. May God be with you all.